have probably heard this question. What value does a college degree hold nowadays, especially when we're seeing the rising national student debt? The good news, research proves that over the course of a career, college students earn $1 million more than high school graduates without a degree over their lifetime. Dr. Lori Joyner, the president of St. Xavier University, is here to tell us how we can make the best choices based on financial goals and personal growth. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Joyner.
Thank you for having me.
Now, what are the real costs of higher education? I know we tend to throw out a lot of numbers, some higher, some lower than what they actually are. So what are the actual costs?
Well, I think one of the important things to recognize is that it's actually more affordable than many students and families believe, because the vast majority do not pay the sticker price of a college education. So, for example, at a school like St. Xavier University, 100% of our students receive generous financial aid packages, which actually makes the net cost of attendance much more similar to a public higher education than many people realize.
What are some tools and resources that students and their parents can really come together and figure out what those real costs are?
There's great websites out there. So, for example, collegenavigator.com is a very useful website that helps students and families compare the cost across institutions. We recently did this at St. Xavier, and we were really very pleased and surprised to find that a St. Xavier education is actually the most affordable Catholic university in the state of Illinois, and one of the most affordable in the Midwest. The other thing that's really important is to look at the outcomes or the results of a college education. So, for example, we know that four-year private institutions have higher retention rates and higher graduation rates than our public counterparts. And that is so critical, because if your student is spending an extra year in college, that's extra tuition and fees that they're paying. And it's also there's opportunity cost of not being employed for that extra year or two. So I would say looking at net cost of attendance as well as actual outcomes of the institution that you're considering.
Now, obviously, Dr. Joyner, when it comes to higher education, it's not one size fits all. So where can our viewers find more information?
For more information, please look at sxu.edu, and also I strongly suggest to contact and visit the financial aid office, because they'll be able to give you much more specific information.
Thank you so much for all your help this morning.
Okay, thank you.
And we appreciate St. Xavier University for that important information.